The privacy policy page. The page that we would all love to just ignore and pretend it isn't necessary. It's not the most exciting or fun page on a website, but it's still really important. That's why today I want to show you the Usercentrics Privacy Policy Generator, a free tool designed to make it as easy as possible to create properly structured privacy policies that actually comply with legal standards. Now, Usercentrics did sponsor this video, so let that bias factor in as it may, but I genuinely believe there's a lot of value in this tool and it can make your work and your life easier. With all of that said, let's get into the video. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Why even use a plugin for this instead of just heading over to ChatGPT and whipping it to submission until it gives you something useful? For me, the answer is simple. Because it's still faster and easier. And because I know this was set up by experts that have legal knowledge about this exact topic, and as such, I definitely trust it more than I trust AI. With that said, I need to add a disclaimer. No tool by itself can guarantee full legal compliance, especially if you don't give it all of the proper information, so if you need something that's bulletproof, consult a professional. On top of that, setting up the Privacy Policy Generator is a nice, guided process, a process that gets the information it needs out of you without you needing to do much of anything. That's a way more enjoyable thing to go through compared to being left scratching your head, thinking what kind of info you need to give AI to get it to produce something remotely close to a legal document. So now that we got that out of the way, let's take a look at the actual process. First off, we need to install the plugin. We have two ways to do this, either by doing it through the Usercentrics Cookiebot plugin or by installing the Privacy Policy Generator by itself. You don't need Cookiebot to use this plugin, but since it is my favorite cookie plugin, and cookies and consent kinda go hand in hand with privacy laws, I do recommend you actually do use both. I have a video all about Cookiebot if you're interested. The link will be in the description. We'll be focusing on just the Privacy Policy Generator in this video, but I'll install both because that's my go-to setup. So let's go with that option. Once you're in your WordPress dashboard, go under Plugins and press Add New. Search up Cookiebot. And here it is. It's the first option, and I'm just going to press Install Now. And once it installs, I'm just going to go ahead and activate it. Once you do that, on the left side, you're going to see Cookiebot. Let's open it up and go under Policy Generator Plugin. Press Install Now. And once you do that, again, press Activate. Then you're going to see this, Usercentrics Privacy Policy Generator. Let's press Create an Account. And I'm going to go ahead and log in with my account, but you can create the account here if you don't have one already. So I'm just going to go ahead and log in. So over here, now we need to add in our company name and our country. I'm going to add in the company name, so Realeza, and then for the country, I'm going to search up Slovenia because I'm from Slovenia. Way down here somewhere. Now I'm just going to press Create Free Account. Okay, now that we're done with that, we need to fill out a short questionnaire. This way, we're giving the plugin all of the data it needs to create a proper privacy policy for us. You can read a little bit more about what's going on behind the scenes by pressing how it works, but I'm ready to just jump right in. So let's press Create Your Privacy Policy. I'll name my privacy policy Realeza Privacy Policy, just keeping it simple. And under language, we have these 5 options. I'm going to choose English. If it's not available in the language you specifically need, you can use a tool like Google Translate to translate everything at the end. But keep in mind that these are legal documents, so again, if you need something that's bulletproof, consult a professional. Before we continue, if this is helpful, please make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. It really does help me out a whole lot. I'm from Europe, so under legal framework, I want to use GDPR. That is the set of rules and laws Europe uses regarding data protection, and it's the most relevant for me and for my users. For you US-based viewers out there, or for those of you making websites for firms from the US, you can use the second option. But I'm going to stick with GDPR. I'm going to press Next, and then I need to add in some general information about my company. This is because privacy policies, at least in Europe, need to include a way for your website visitors to contact you so they can exercise their rights regarding privacy. Honestly, never in my career have I heard about a visitor actually doing this, but they have the legal right to do so, so it needs to be covered. I'll fill out my company name and other details. And once I fill everything in, we get to this section, Privacy Contact. I've honestly never heard of a data protection officer before, so I'm pretty sure I don't have one, but I can imagine it's a pretty important position for larger companies. Nevertheless, I'm choosing no. Now we get to the fun stuff. You need to list the products and services your company provides. I'm just going to copy and paste in some of mine. Then under data collection, this can get confusing. Generally, you're going to want to check this because you very likely are collecting some kind of data. So you need to check what kind of data your company is collecting. For simple WordPress websites where you're not actually intentionally storing and processing data, I recommend you choose at least the following: IP address, browser information and language, operating system and version, and IP-based location. Because chances are WordPress by itself or plugins you have installed store some of this data even if you don't actively do it yourself. If your website is an online store, you're definitely gonna want to add in first name and last name, telephone number and email, address and city, payment information, purchase history, and payment method and history. Moving on to purposes for data collection, you're probably going to need to check quite a few of these because things like content delivery, communication efforts, analytics, and performance tracking, and so on are really standard things on websites, and there's a very high chance you need some sort of data for this. So just go ahead and go through everything and check what you believe your website needs. For example, for my basic WordPress website, I would add in authentication and security because of user logins, customizing and adapting user experience because any analytical plugin is going to give me information that relates to this, content delivery, communication efforts, analytics and performance tracking, marketing and advertising, displaying videos. So if I'm embedding a YouTube or Vimeo video, I'm going to want to check this. Processing transactions, I don't need that on my website because it's not an online store, it's just informative. So I'm not going to check that. I don't need data to provide access to exclusive content just yet. I might have some courses coming up in the future, but not right now. Compliance with legal obligations, yes, I need that. Research and development, yes, because I'm using data to make the website better. Customer support, again, if somebody, reaches out, I need their data to help them out. Fraud prevention and risk management, yes. Payment processing, no, because I have no payments. User engagement and retention, yes, again. User feedback and satisfaction, again, yes. And tag management, because I'm using Google Tag Manager, I'm going to check yes as well. A lot of these, maybe not improving public health, but a lot of these, yes, you're going to need them. And this is the only part of the process that takes a bit of effort, takes a bit of thinking. So do your best to check everything you specifically need. You may need some of these, you may need all of them, you may not need many of them at all, but go through it and check what seems most logical to you based on your website. Then under My Company Collects Device Data, you need to add in the locations of where you're storing data. If you're from Germany and your hosting provider is from the United States, you're going to want to add in both countries because data stored on your website is getting stored on your server, and you're very likely storing at least some of it locally on your computer, if nothing else in the form of backups. Hopefully you are. Make backups. Seriously, trust me, make backups. Anyhow, once you add that in, we're moving on. Under data protection, if you're not sure if you're using any data protection measures, this depends on your hosting provider as well. But as long as you're using WordPress, and especially if you're using a good security plugin, technically you're at least using one of them. So we're going to check yes, and then we're going to, under specify data protection measures, we're going to select access control, because you're not just letting anybody log into the website and having access to the data, you're controlling the access, so you're using this protection measure. For the other two, encryption and security audits and monitoring, that is completely, again, up to you. Depends on your website setup, on the tools you're using, so if you know you're using this, check it as well. Next up, we get to the really important stuff, data sharing. If you share any kind of data with third-party providers, Here is where you specify that. That includes things like Google Analytics, Google Ads, Google Fonts, reCAPTCHA, Cloudflare, YouTube, Vimeo, MailerLite. So a bunch of stuff and all things that I personally use very often. So under what third-party services/technologies do you use? Select the options from the list, go through it, and select the ones you intend to use, and it's as easy as that. In my case, I would be using Google Analytics, Google Ads, Google AdSense, Google Fonts, Google Tag Manager, reCAPTCHA, Cloudflare, YouTube, Vimeo, and MailerLite. So those are the ones I personally would be using. Check the ones you're going to be using yourself. You might have noticed we skipped one question. That is, do you use a consent management platform? Again, if you're not sure, you're not using it. If you are, just select it here. For a cookie policy, I don't have one, so I'm not going to add in any link here. But if you are using a cookie policy, go ahead and add in the link here. Next up, under data breach notification procedures, you're asked, do you want to add a response time for data breach notifications? I'm going to check yes, and I'll just keep the response time the standard, the default 30 days. Under select methods of notifying users about data breaches, I'm going to select website notification. So I'm notifying them via my website, not via email. We are done with this part, so let's press next. Now, this might seem like a lot of work, but honestly, that's because we're taking it slow and I'm trying to explain things as best I can when I'm doing this by myself. And if you're going to be doing it by yourself, it's a really quick and really easy process. So this is the last group of questions. First off, do you transfer data to countries outside the EEA? So outside of the European Economic Area, outside of Europe for short. In my case, I'm using Cloudflare to speed up my website, which means I'm transferring some data to the US, so I'm going to select yes. Under children's privacy, we're asked, does your website have age requirements? This one's easy. Just like this channel, everything on my website is family friendly, so we don't have any age requirements. Next up, direct marketing and communications. This applies if you're using a mailing provider like MailerLite to send emails to your visitors, or SMS messages, text messages, or anything of the sort, which I do. I send out a newsletter every time I release a video, so go sign up so you never miss an upload. The link will be in the description. I'll choose yes because I do ask my visitors for consent, and then I'm just gonna choose the channels I use. In my case, that's gonna be email and social media platforms. You might have way more channels, so really just check the ones that apply to you. Really common ones would be email, SMS, social media platforms, retargeting ads, and direct video marketing. And regarding opt-out links in emails or text messages, you should really have those. Nobody likes getting emails or text messages that they just cannot get rid of. So hopefully you have that. I'm going to check yes, because I do have that. And lastly, policy updates and changes. Do you want to notify users of policy updates? Personally, I see no need to do that, so I'm going to choose no. Again, this is one of those things that will likely be relevant mostly to larger companies. When it comes to this last option, do you require opt-in for material changes? Material in this context means significant. So if you make significant changes to your policy or to how you use gathered data, do you require opt-in from your users? I'm going to choose no. And we're done. Let's press Generate Privacy Policy, and instantly Usercentrics has it ready for us. Now we're going to go under Implement via WordPress, and we're going to copy our privacy policy ID. Once we do that, we're going to go back to WordPress, and over here under Settings, under Setup, we're just going to paste it in here. So under Privacy Policy ID, we just paste it in and press Connect Policy ID. All that is left at this point is to publish our new privacy policy. You can have the plugin create a new page for you, or you can use an existing page and you just select it over here. If you're choosing this option, just be careful because it will override the content of the page. That's another reason why I'm letting it create an entirely new page. Because I want the plugin to do the heavy lifting for me, I'm going to let it create a new page for me, and I'm just going to name it Realeza Privacy Policy. I'm going to press Publish Policy, and as soon as I do that, we get this message, congrats, you're all set. the privacy policy is live, and we can go ahead and view the live page. You're going to see we have all of the options we selected, all of the data we gave it. So this is a very well structured privacy policy. One thing I also really like is that for third-party providers, it adds in the explanations of which data they're collecting and how they're using it. Plus, it adds in links to their privacy policies, which is really cool. Under user rights and choices, it also adds in links to specific chapters of the GDPR, which is an awesome feature. So when you think about how long this would actually take to write up yourself, you can imagine how valuable a tool like this can be. And again, this is a free tool that takes up very little time to use. The only thing that bothers me is that I can't really edit this visually. Sure, I can edit the page and I can edit the policy in the Usercentrics dashboard, so I can edit the content, but I can't adjust the width, the fonts, the sizes. I'm using Elementor, and it would be great if I could edit this content with Elementor directly. Hopefully they're going to add something like that in the future. With that said, you can easily get the privacy policy created and then just copy it to a page where you can fully control the style. That's a very easy fix, and in my opinion, it's the best of both worlds. And that's probably what you would be doing if you were creating your privacy policy any other way anyhow. So you're just getting a very easy process with this tool, and then you just do the same thing you would if you got it somewhere else. That's not something you can do with the Usercentrics cookie plugin, because CookieBot offers a lot of really important functionalities that a simple pop-up just can't replace, but a privacy policy is really just text. So there's no harm in using this tool to make your life easier and then styling your privacy policy with your tool of choice. To make your life even easier and more styled, designy. What I'm trying to say is I make videos about design and development, so check those out. Check this video out next. If you found this one interesting, I guarantee you're gonna find that one very interesting as well. And make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Thank you for watching. Heading over to ChatGPT and whipping it instead of just heading over to ChatGPT and whipping it heading over to ChatGPT and whipping it to submission